Hey guys, what's up? Game Pizza Boy here, host of the Pizza Party. Hope you're all doing great. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about my thoughts on Lifeweaver, one of the new support heroes that came out during Season 4 of Overwatch 2. So obviously, I've been playing with him for quite a bit right now. I've been enjoying trying him out a little bit right there, and I do have some thoughts I want to kind of give out and just kind of get my opinion, obviously, on it. And I want to hear your guys' thoughts, obviously, in the comment section below. Also, if you do find this video very helpful and nice to talk about, make sure you like it and also subscribe if you want to show your support to the Pizza Party, as always. So, what do you guys say we get right into it and discuss everything about Lifeweaver, and then I'll give you my thoughts. So, Lifeweaver is one of the new support heroes that came out during Season 4. And I have been really enjoying him so far, at least a little bit right there. But I do have some thoughts I want to kind of give, basically how I feel about each and every one of them, about his abilities, his main, primary, and secondary fire, that being Healing Blossom and Thron Volley, his little passive ability, a parting gift, and then also his ult with the Tree of Life. So just want to kind of get my thoughts on them and just kind of explain how I feel about them. And I hope for the best that we'll see more improvements down the line for him in the future. But obviously, I just want to kind of get my thoughts on what he is currently at so far right now. So let's go ahead and get right into it and let's discuss it. So first, I want to discuss, obviously, out of the way just quickly, is his parting gift passive ability. So this is like a very unique passive ability to Lifeweaver himself. So basically, if you die as Lifeweaver, it will drop down a nice little gift right here that will heal whoever picks it up, an ally or an enemy, which is pretty interesting right there. And it stays for like 12 seconds. And basically what it will do is that if an ally touches it, they will be healed up about 250 HP. And for enemies, it will heal about 75 HP. So obviously enemies don't get a lot of it, obviously, but they still get at least some if they pick it up. So this is a nice little unique, cool little idea of a passive ability, which I actually do like. I do like the unique idea for this ability. It kind of acts really nice as a still support way, basically, to teammates and allies, and also to enemies as well. But it's like a first come first serve situation, and it's very unique. I do like this one. So just to get that out of the way, I think it's quite unique, and I do like to see very unique different abilities kind of pop around from time to time from many of the different heroes. So hopefully we'll keep seeing more unique stuff like this and so on. So this is pretty cool. I do like this. Now moving on is his Healing Blossom, which is his primary fire. Basically, you will be able to charge up your primary fire and then release it to an ally, and it will heal them. It can heal about 10 at the minimum, but if you charge it up completely, you can then make it about 65 health, which is pretty cool and all. My only issue is that it just is not as effective as much, I would say. I mean, you really, it can still be pretty good in many situations when healing your allies, but I find it tend to really not be as really effective to take on to help out a lot of the allies most often. Usually this thing can only go up to 65, and you have to be very quick to charge it up, obviously, and then release it to your teammates in order to help them get full health. And even then, it's probably not going to be as strong enough if you got really good enemy teammates that are really good at just taking out your tanks or your upper allies. So it's kind of very tricky to do with that stuff. Not to mention a couple of things that also make it a little bit tricky. You got to be careful is that when you charge it up, it does apparently give you a 25 move speed penalty, as it says right here. So it's obvious that when you charge it up, you do slow down, which I think I've noticed it a little bit. Whenever I charge up, I do feel kind of slow. So you got to be careful when using this, because if you charge it up, you're basically losing a lot of your speed, which will make it hard for you to escape unless you use, of course, his dash ability. So you have to be careful with that very much indeed. It can go quite pretty far for a healing ability. So it's really nice to see that you can actually just kind of shoot out and get a good range of that for your allies, even if you're at a good distance. But obviously you got to make sure you're within range still, and also make sure they're still seeable, so you can just shoot at them and charge up that 65 health. And even then, if they're not careful, they could end up wasting a lot of their health, and you won't have a chance to fully heal them up and save them in time very much. There's 12 shots in it, so you do have enough before you have to run out and reload. One cool interesting fact I will mention, though, is if anyone does not know, is that if you actually switch back over to your Thron Volley, you can, and back and forth, you can actually get a recharge fully without needing to reload. Like, apparently if you run out and if you just switch over to your Thron Volley and shoot a bit and just kind of enjoy just doing a little Thron Volley attacks to deal some DPS, your Healing Blossom will actually reload automatically itself. So you don't need, if you go back to it, it'll just be filled back to 12. So it's a nice little way to kind of help out a little bit. But overall, Healing Blossom is pretty cool in its own concept, but I just don't think it's going to be as effective as much compared to other heals. Usually, obviously, the most strongest heals I find most of the time is, obviously, we all know, is like Mercy, Anna, and even also I also find sometimes Baptiste being pretty strong in his own way, because he also has his little immortality field to help him out back with that at the same time, and his grenade launcher is a pretty good range as well if you aim. Moira, obviously, definitely a pretty good one too as well. But obviously, Healing Blossom, I just think is not the strongest compared to others. But hey, I mean, we don't probably want to have too many strong heals too often. We want to make sure we balance it out very well. So that's just what I'm kind of okay with, and kind of will accept to kind of go with Lifeweaver. And plus, he's only new still, so we got to see how he improves overall. But I think his heal's going to be just fine still, even way he is. But maybe we'll see what happens down the line if anything does change, of course. So good, pretty good so far, I would say. I think it's a not bad primary fire for healing. Next, also mentioning is his Thron Volley, which, of course, like I said, is obviously his secondary fire, and it is also his DPS phase basically. So he'll basically switch over to that if you push like the 2 button, or switch with the middle mouse button on PC, or whatever option you have also on controller on your own console, and basically it will allow you to shoot out thorns, about 5 per shot. Sorry, yeah, 5 per, like 2 per shot. Sorry, 2 per shot. I meant to say 2 per shot, and then deal about 5 damage per thorn. Sorry. So basically, you'll deal with some quick damage, and not gonna lie, it is quite a really effective weapon. If you really just aim it pretty well, you actually deal a lot of damage. Basically, if you get your shots pretty well, it's a little bit mysterious about how the spread is, of course, obviously, but it seems like it really stays within place very easily. So you're really basically gonna pretty much land many of your shots, since it does get mixed up where the spread of the thorns go around for. It's pretty quick, obviously, for its rate of fire. It does have a lot of ammo, about 60 shots. So you're basically shooting 2 thorns per shot with 60 right there, pretty much. And it reloads pretty quickly as well. And the damage it does is pretty quick as well, too. So if you are really good at aiming your shots pretty well and you get close range, you could probably melt the hell out of some of the shots into enemies pretty effectively. So you can imagine how effective this weapon could be very easily against any enemies that get too close to your other allies. So this is a nice thing to switch over to. And that's one thing I will question about that makes me kind of like why it's so effective with the DPS, but not for his healing as much. Because again, his healing is one thing, but I was hoping that would at least be a little more effective compared to then his Thron Volley. Like this would be at least on the a little more weaker side, because we already recently had obviously Kiriko, and like Kiriko obviously does take some aiming to do, but her night kunais are like really effective. You land your shots pretty well, especially the headshots, and it really melts down a lot of enemies. So I can imagine, like I think about like how this would have been effective when I first saw this in the trailer. And yeah, it's pretty strong if you really get your shots right and get into close range. That's why I find this weapon pretty well for close range. I wouldn't really use this much far away. I would try to stick to this as close as possible, because obviously with range, it does still some good damage, but if you're pretty far away, it'll make it hard to hit anyone with those thorns. But close, you're obviously going to really melt them down pretty easily if they get too close to you and your allies. So I can imagine what the possibilities for this. But again, not I would say it's like overpowered or anything like that, but I really just think it's just very strong for a support hero. So we'll see what happens with that very much, but pretty cool weapon overall. I do like the thorns that come out of it though. It's not that nice purplish color design as it just shoots out of his gauntlets. Pretty neat indeed. Next is to his abilities, and we'll start with Petal Platform. Petal Platform basically is a platform you can throw like around, and then basically anyone who stands on it, enemy or ally, the platform will spring upwards, and then it will stay there for a certain time or until it's been defeated, basically. It has about 400 health for the platform. Its main goal it could be really useful for is obviously for getting to high ground very easily, and it can be very effective. Especially for your DPSs, since a good high ground can help them out very well for like Cassidy or Ashe. It's a really effectively cool ability I like. I can imagine the possibilities of using this and helping your teammates get out of sticky situations or give your teammates some high ground. It really does come in handy very well. So I actually find this a pretty cool ability. It does help out, and it's a lot of good team-based ability stuff right there as well. You just throw that down and it will be protected. Obviously, it won't be protected for long because, again, it can be destroyed and only has like 400 health. So it's not going to be very like the greatest ability of all time, but it can come in handy whenever something just goes down very easily. And I can imagine it really be assisting, especially again, like I said, for DPSs like Ashe or Cassidy. Getting those shots up the high ground and keeping cover can really do some good wonders for that. So I actually find this a really good ability. I really find this really well. Now onto his second ability, Rejuvenating Dash. And this is probably a really cool ability, and I think this is a really good ability, not gonna lie, honestly. So basically, it acts like a dash like ability where you just hit it, and any direction you move into, he will obviously just dash right to that direction, basically. It will help him get around behind cover very easily, and it actually heals you about 25 health to yourself, basically. It does have a very short cooldown, about 5 seconds, so you obviously will get it back pretty quickly. But it will really come in handy to get yourself healed up a little bit, not as effectively as much, but will still help you out, especially behind cover. This ability, I'm all right with, honestly. It's a really good ability overall. It's a very good ability. You just dash in, of course, in the direction you're going from, to horizontally, basically, so you can dash left and right and kind of get around very easily. And just get a little effective way to kind of get behind cover, and just having that nice 25 bit of health to heal you back a little bit, just on top of your normal health rejuvenating whenever you're a support, obviously does come in handy a lot, especially so you can stay alive for your teammates and hopefully heal them in no time as well. I find this pretty useful, especially when I'm trying to get around the areas as well. So this is pretty cool. I do like this ability. So honestly, nothing I can say about this ability at all bad, honestly. Obviously, this gives 25 health, which I think is good enough. You really, and for like someone with a 5-second cooldown, you really don't want to have someone like this having a lot more health to be given back to. Otherwise, it would just be very overpowered for Lifeweaver completely. So probably the best thing to do is keep it where it is, in my opinion, though, unless of course they want to add like another like 5 or add like number 5 bit of health and make it up to like 30, but my guess 25 is just going to be kept as it is. I don't think there's anything that needs to be changed about this Rejuvenating Dash ability at all whatsoever. Now, Life Grip, however, though, of course, I want to talk about, and that's ability that is a lot to kind of go through, and I want to talk about this one. So Life Grip, as you know, it will allow you to pull an ally to your location, and it will protect them as long as it keeps on traveling. So it acts like a little way to kind of grapple them to you and pull them in, and it gives them like a nice little bubble shield to kind of keep them protected from any attacks. It can protect them from anything, even like all like divas, or even Orissas. It can really help out a lot in many situations and kind of save them, especially even from Cassidy's Deadeye too. So there's a lot of effectiveness with this ability too, but I have a lot of thoughts I want to kind of give about. So first of all, obviously the range, about 30 meters, and the 20-second cooldown is already good enough by me. I'd rather keep it like that way, because this ability to me can be quite strong in many situations if you obviously use it pretty well, because it can help your teammates get out of situations, and having it anywhere lower than 20 seconds, I believe, would make it really overpowered, because again, it protects your teammates from anything. Like anything, shots, ults, anything, you name it, it will protect them, and they can still be probably healed by you and your other allies too as well, from your other supports on top of that. So I could find the effectiveness very, very chaotic if used in the right way for some teammates, and the range is pretty effective too. Again, 30 meters, so you can pretty much reach out pretty far enough to pull your teammates out sticky situations and kind of save them and when they need to. So this is honestly a really, really, really good ability in many situations, and that's what I like about it very much. However, though, the one thing I will say that is a con for it, a big problem with it, and it comes in 2 forms: trolls and also people who end up not knowing what the hell they are doing. So basically, the troll one, just get out of the way. You probably know what I'm talking about. People who are willing to use Life Grip to basically mess around with your teammates. Obviously, Life Grip should be used in an effective way to help your teammates, but what if, of course, you happen to just get in there and you're going for kill, and then a teammate decides to pull you back for no apparent reason, but they just did it to you? That could really ruin your game right there, basically, to get those kills and help your teammates out to push in for the objective or whatever. I wouldn't want to deal with that myself. It wouldn't be fun at all to, you know, go out there and just do something, and next thing you know it, bam, my teammate just pulls me back and just ruins my chance to help my team's inmates out whenever I can. It just really doesn't work. So obviously something like this wouldn't be fun whatsoever to happen. It would be honestly pretty devastating for anyone to deal with, obviously, whenever they have a Lifeweaver with them. And not only that, I can imagine the possibilities if you're like just an example, a content creator, streamer, or just some big name on Overwatch, and there's a troll who's obviously lurking around finding you, and they find out about you, and they use that ability to constantly pull you in every time as you're just about to get something like that, even putting you in many situations, because the farther you go, or the position that you're at, can sometimes screw people over, like pulling people off ledges or something like that. So I can imagine the possibilities where I would go for when dealing with that. So this ability, while it does have its helpful reasons, I can see it having some cons when it comes to people ready to use it to abuse against teammates. So I'm hoping at least that if it does become like this, Overwatch will obviously look into this and maybe find an effective way to keep this from happening or find something. But hope for the best that at least they just keep it just where it is, just so it's not that too effective. Because again, 20 seconds and 30 meters is good enough, at least, I should say, when playing. The other point is just people who just don't know. Obviously, people who are either new to Lifeweaver and just practice with them, or people who just end up having some bad timings with their abilities. Like, they end up, like, pulling you in at the wrong time and just don't know what the hell they're doing. Basically, the really bad kind of player kind of situation, which might not happen too often for a lot of people, but it might happen for some. You know, that one person who just does not know how to handle it or how to use it in such a good way. So, basically, for example, like, you're obviously about to go off, you're about to do your thing right there, about to go get your kills, ready to use your ult, and then next thing you know, as you're about to use it, your teammate pulls you in at the wrong time, thinking you're about to die right there, even though you have your ult, and you're going to go effectively kill them all. And even if you didn't kill them all, at least when you die, you'll at least take them out with you. But yet they pull you in, and you didn't get a single kill, and you basically waste your ult. You wouldn't want to have fun with that at all, at least. So, as a key thing I will say for anyone, if you're playing Lifeweaver, and this is a lesson I am trying to learn about, try not to really use your life grip too often on your teammates in many situations. If you see them about to go in for something and they have their ult, maybe let them do their thing. Only pull them back when it's absolutely necessary. Like if they're very weak and you need to heal them and they need to come back, or you think they're getting too aggressive and stuff like that, to the point where they're about to die very much for sure. But if they have like an ult or they're about to go in there doing their job basically like this, then don't pull them in. Only pull them when you absolutely think they need to. Like if they are struggling, like the enemies are kicking their ass right there, then pull them through and keep them safe. Then heal them and then let them get back into the fight. Simple as that, basically. I just want to say that pretty much because even I have dealt with that situation before many times and even done it myself, so it may just be a lesson for all of us pretty much when we're playing Life Grip. One thing I will mention as well is that at least with this, you can also be useful with this is also pulling people out of situations, like I said, with ults. And it can actually help out even in ults that involve kind of getting you stuck, like, or even abilities like Roadhog's Chain Hook, or obviously the Graviton Flux from Sigma, or even the Graviton Surge from Zarya, or even also effectively helping out teammates along with stuff as well, such as actually pulling in Bob. You can actually pull in Bob as well too, so you can get him to certain positions if you can, and it can help out with like helping out with defending objectives or attacking objectives. I can imagine the possibilities with that, combining also with the Petal Platform as well. So there could be some pretty good effectiveness with the ability as well. So I like that. I like to see how like he's playing, especially in comp later on when everyone starts playing Lifeweaver on comp a little bit more. So I want to see what happens with that. And finally, last but not least, is his ult, the Tree of Life. So basically, the Tree of Life is his ultimate, as we know, and what it does is that if you will be able to place a tree on the ground, and anyone and all that gets inside within the radius of the Tree of Life will get healed upon sprouting, and will get healed periodically as it keeps on living. It has about 1,000 health. That's what the tree has. So the tree will stay alive very effectively unless dealing with other ults and stuff like that. So there could be some things that can make it pretty strong in some ways. It will heal you about 150 HP instantly. It's placed, and it will do 50 HP per pulse. So it's not like a very eccentrically big HP. A lot from that, but it's still at least a good amount, at least to keep you alive as much as you can, as long as you keep working together to take out your enemies and effectively heal your allies, especially if you're still a support yourself. It will do a pulse of it for HP every about 1.75 seconds, and it will have about 8 pulses, so it's still quite quick to heal you very effectively right there. It can reach about 30 meters. It has within targeting range, and it will also have an area effect of 12 meters. You got to stay within that area effect, but within also that and the range that you can place it onto, that's pretty good. So you can actually place it down within 30 meters wherever you target to place it, and it will have an area effect of 12 meters, so you can then stay within it and heal yourself and allies. And it lasts about for 15 seconds unless it gets destroyed. So it's a pretty cool ult right there. I actually find this ult actually really unique and nice, honestly, for an ult for support right there. It can really heal pretty easily, and it can come in handy in many situations. So I find this a pretty effective ult in its own way. Now, obviously, whenever you're playing like comp or anything like that, obviously you probably want to figure out what support you want to use a lot more. And usually, mostly like Kitsune Rush from Kiriko or Ana's nano syringe right there, combined with like a little nano syringe, basically. Can be much more effective, or Baptiste little or like a nice little or projector. Basically, there's a lot of stuff that basically can be more effective to be used with their ults than compared to like this one, but it could still be quite effective whenever you heal. I actually find this, in my opinion, pretty effective to help out in many situations when your teammates are in trouble. Whenever your teammates are in trouble and you have your ult ready and everyone else is about to use their ult, I pretty much just use it to help out my teammates, how to heal as much as I can and get into the action. So it's a really good, pretty good ult. I actually think it's not bad. I think it's a pretty good ult. Now, I don't think, like I said, it's pretty strong when it comes to other healing-based ones or any ult based on other support heroes. Like I said, I feel like some of the stuff like Kitsune Rush from Kiriko or even the Nano boost from Ana or even also Moira's Coalescence is still quite a little more effective compared to this. But it does still come in handy a lot. I still think it does still come in handy and it can really be effective. So I find this a not bad ability, and I think it will be pretty useful in many situations. I can't wait to see it being used more in many very tough matches a little bit more. So I want to see some pretty good game moments with people using Tree Life to help their teammates out and taking out the enemy team. So I definitely want to see what happens with that. All right, now finishing off right now, I just want to kind of give my final thoughts on everything and how I feel about Kiriko. And again, he's only been out for a while, but now he's not been out for very long, so there's still gonna be some changes overall. But my thoughts so far, what I think about Lifeweaver, I think he's not bad. I don't think he's the most strongest of the support heroes. I don't think he's really strong compared to like Ana, Kiriko, Baptiste, Moira, these guys right here a little more, but I think he's still quite effective. The heals are still not bad. I do like his passive ability unique. His weapons still be pretty good for close range and keep enemies back. His abilities all are unique and interesting in their own way. Life Grip just to me is the only one I just feel it might be a little bit hard to deal with right there when it comes to teammates who probably don't know what they're doing and trolls. But besides that, it's a really effective ability as well. And pretty much all his abilities are pretty effective in their own way. And his ult, honestly, to me, is probably really cool. I do like his ult. I actually like it in design and unique gameplay-wise, and it just really is effective. I can really help out a lot with objectives, so I can imagine the placement of that stuff and just see how it goes very well. I can see what happens with that. But yeah, so far, Lifeweaver, I don't think he's going to be the most strongest of many supports, but I think he's still quite effective support to help out nevertheless. I do hope to see more improvements to him over time, and which I expect there will be. But overall, I think he's not a bad hero. If I have to rate him like from 1 out of 10, I will just say that right now. I'd probably give him maybe like a 7 out of 10. I would probably say at least. So yeah, 7 out of 10. He's really good. He's a not bad at support hero, but he does have his cons, in my opinion, for some stuff right there. Like I said, with Life Grip being kind of used more abusively or very not right in some ways. And Healing Blossom not being as effective as much, but the Parting Gift was unique. And I still think Healing Blossom will still have some effectiveness. Thron Volley, still definitely quite strong in its own way. And its abilities overall, including his all, are all very unique and special in their own right. Hopefully we'll see more improvements down the line, of course. But yeah, I think Lifeweaver was a really good new addition to the support roles, and I'm looking forward to see what the next one will be like when we get to like the next few seasons, of course, since we'll be expecting a new support hero very soon, the next season or so. So only time will tell. But anyway, with that being said, guys, that is it for the video. What do you guys think again about Lifeweaver? Again, comment section below. Let me know your thoughts on it. Make sure you hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you want to show your support of the pizza party. I look forward to see what exactly will happen down the line in the future for sure for our buddy here, Lifeweaver. So only time will tell. With that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm your host, Pizza Boy, host of the Pizza Party. You all have a great rest of your day and keep on partying. All right, guys. Goodbye.